Sue Quackenbush is living a nightmare. The 63-year-old mother of 3 has already lost 2 of her 3 children, and now her last living child has been missing for over 2 months with no good news in sight. Hello everyone, I'm Victoria, and thank you for joining me so I can tell you about the missing person, Danielle Lopez. Around April 13th, 2024, Danielle Lopez of Burlington, New Jersey, was reported missing while she was on a camping trip with a friend. There aren't a lot of details available for me to share, but there is still a family who are desperately searching for their missing loved one. Sue, Danielle, and all of their family have suffered so many personal losses in the last 10 years. On Christmas Day of 2015, Sue's oldest son and Danielle's brother, Eric, took his own life. Then, only 10 months later, Sue's youngest son, Michael, was in a car crash that would take his life. He was a Marine who had just returned from deployment in Afghanistan. I can't imagine how much harder that made losing Michael for them. I'm sure they'd felt so much relief of him coming home safely from his deployment, only to be killed stateside doing something most of us do every single day. Racked with grief is, I'm sure, an understatement to talk about how Danielle and Sue and the rest of their family were feeling during this time. 4 years later, in 2020, Danielle had been taking care of her grandfather on her father's side, Fred Lopez Sr. She'd been taking care of him for some time, but tragically he fell ill from COVID during this time, and he would pass away in May of that year. Then, while Danielle was still suffering from the loss of her grandfather, only a month later, her father and Sue's ex-husband, Guy Lopez, would suffer a heart attack that he would not recover from. That means within 5 years, Danielle, Sue, and the rest of their families suffered major losses, just one right after another, and all unexpected. Now, after what just happened in 2024, Danielle's family members are beginning to wonder if they may be cursed. Danielle, who is Sue's only surviving child, has been missing for over 2 months, and police have given anything but hope that Danielle will be found alive. Sue shared with People that everything seemed fine during her last conversation with Danielle. She'd seen her daughter on April 12, 2024, and Sue said their conversation had been wonderful, and Danielle was happy and upbeat. Nothing in the days leading up to Danielle's disappearance or in this conversation pointed to what was to come. As I mentioned, Danielle had been planning on going camping with a friend, and in fact, they had made it to set up their campsite. Now, I'm having trouble figuring out exactly where their campsite was based on several different reports. Some reports say the Wharton State Forest, while others say the Brendan T. Barron Forest. But these seem to be 2 different places in New Jersey. They aren't that far away from each other, but they are actually 2 separate state parks. So if anybody from New Jersey or who's been to the area knows the difference between these areas, or maybe has more information based on your local news that I haven't been able to find, that would be super helpful if you could comment that down below exactly where she may have been camping. I would even refer to just what the missing posters say, but I've seen multiple missing posters that say different forests. And so she was definitely camping in the state of New Jersey, but I can't tell you exactly which state forest she was in. Sue said that Danielle and this other unnamed person had set up their campsite. They had a big 8-person tent, a propane heater, and the rest of their belongings set up to enjoy their trip. The last sighting of Danielle alive known to the public is on security footage from the front door of a gas station on April 13th at about 9:10 a.m. She was seen at a Wawa at 4 Route 72 in Vincetown, New Jersey. This is the only still that has been shared from the footage. Danielle looks fine and even seems to be talking or smiling in the picture. Police haven't stated if there was somebody at this Wawa with Danielle, but Sue states that she does believe that someone was there with her. On April 13th, Danielle's 2008 2-door Hyundai Accent was found disabled on Lost Lane Road in Penn State Forest, reportedly about 13 miles away from her campsite. All that's being reported right now is that the car was disabled, but there are no further details about what that means. Disabled could mean a lot of things, and I don't know what it means in the case of her car. It could mean a flat tire, that the car was in some sort of accident, or that there was some sort of obvious tampering. It seems like police are going out of their way to keep a lot of the details they know close to the vest. When Sue visited the location where Danielle's car was found, she said there's no way Danielle drove out there. She doesn't specify why she said this, and unfortunately I also don't know the exact location where Danielle's car was found, so I couldn't go into Google Maps and try to do my own research on this spot to see if there was something that made it obvious Danielle wouldn't have tried to go there. The police haven't really shared publicly what they believe happened to Danielle. Aside from that, they suspect foul play in her disappearance. Sue hasn't been told that much herself, but from what she has been told, it seems that she doesn't expect Danielle to be coming home alive. To the point where she even addressed using the past tense to talk about her daughter in a Facebook post during an interview with Fox News. The reason I use my daughter in the past tense in my statement is because police have reason to believe harm has come to her. It is genuinely horrible that Sue and the rest of Danielle's family are having to go through all this. It's horrific that they keep suffering such sudden and unexpected tragedies in their family. It's horrible for any family to have a loved one go missing, but when a family as a whole is just suffering one tragic loss after another, especially from, for the most part, younger people who they really did not expect to die so suddenly, I mean, those are harder losses to handle. And Sue specifically, oh my God, I don't even have kids yet, and it is unimaginable. And I can't even begin to wrap my head around what she must be going through as a mother who has lost all 3 of her children now. In fact, it was Danielle's uncle on her father's side, Fred Lopez Jr., who questioned if the family may be cursed. And I'm sure that's exactly how it feels for all of them. I know I would be wondering the exact same thing about my family. It would absolutely feel like you were cursed. Sue told Fox News Digital, "Danielle is the most sweet, loving, caring, kind, family-oriented person you could ever want to meet. Loves her family so much and her friends. And I think Danielle seems like such a sweet person from what I've read, and her smile in all these pictures is so welcoming and beautiful. She seems like she would be such a wonderful person to just hang out with and talk to." The New Jersey State Police is the main investigative agency looking into Danielle's disappearance, and they're utilizing both their missing persons unit and their human trafficking unit. I am a little curious about the involvement of the human trafficking unit, if maybe that points to what they suspect may have happened to Danielle, but at the same time, it could just be that given the vast area she went missing in, they have more resources that would be available and they're just combining their efforts. So I don't want to speculate too much, but I did find that interesting that the human trafficking unit was involved in this investigation. Either way, I'm just glad that Danielle is getting so much support. If you have any information about Danielle's disappearance or her whereabouts, please call the authorities. They are welcoming any tips right now, and they want everyone to know that you can stay anonymous if you do call. You can call the New Jersey State Police Missing Persons Unit at 609-882-2000, extension 2554, or you can email any information to missinginformation@njsp.com. And if you live in the New Jersey area and you want to personally help, there is a Facebook group called the Pine Barrens who have been helping to organize searches to look for Danielle. I don't know if they're still doing that, but if you want to see if you can help, that would be the place that you'd reach out to. Tragically, it does seem like the police do not think that Danielle is going to come home to her family safely. I'm sure that means that they know a lot more than we do, but for now they are choosing to definitely keep the public in the dark. I'll keep an eye on this story and do my best to keep you updated as I can. Thank you so much for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!